Hi, welcome to She Spice. The rush of help for Katt Williams has been downright remarkable, standing out from the two VIPs and regular individuals. This all originated from his now renowned meeting on Club Shay, which detonated on the web and collected almost 60 million perspectives. It appeared as though everybody was spellbound by it. Sylvester Stallone? Yes. The unbelievable rough boa has advocated for Katt Williams. You may be scratching your head and asking why Stallone is getting involved. They come from totally various circles of Hollywood. However, the buzz is that Stallone isn't simply remaining with Katt. He's planning to divulge a few unstable disclosures of his own, regardless of his transcending accomplishments. Stallone has confronted a lot of selling out in the merciless world of Hollywood. That is correct. Even a monster like Stallone has been stung by the business's deceptive side. So what precisely is happening from the notable Rough series to the adrenaline siphoning? Expendable Stallone has transformed the big screen, however. Here's a stunner, notwithstanding that Rough doesn't possess the freedoms granted to the establishment last year. Michael B. Jordan featured in Statement of Faith 3. Faith 3, yet where was Stallone? He was the core of the initial two Doctrine motion pictures, in any event, getting an Oscar designation for his job in the 2015 presentation. Yet in Ideology 3, he's mysteriously gone. Sure, they notice Rough, however, his genuine presence is a complete secret. And get this, it's the first time in quite a while and 47 years that a Rough film doesn't highlight Rough Balboa. Why? Why the unexpected non-appearance? It appears Stallone wasn't ready for the course of Ideology 3.3. Statement of Faith 3, he acquainted a few first with the establishment. Michael B. Jordan, notwithstanding Adonis's leading-edge job in 2015's Doctrine, is set to make his first time at the helm in a huge flight. Sylvester Stallone, the famous figure inseparable from Rough movies, won't show up on screen without precedent for a Rough portion. In spite of his non-appearance as an entertainer, Stallone assumed a role as a maker in the undertaking. Spread the word. You realize that he wasn't returning for this one. However, I still think you know his embodiment and experience are continuously going to be a tad rough on the inside. Ideology 3, the 10th portion in the Rough establishment and the third in the Statement of Faith series, keeps on expanding on the rich tradition of the Rough Balboa. Universe. The film investigates the significant difficulties of conquering past injuries, exploring the intricacies of acclaim, and the significance of family at its heart. Adonis Ideology, previously the ignored, ill-conceived child of boxing legend Apollo's Statement of Faith, develops into a dear companion and mentor to Rough Balboa. Adonis is focused on saving his dad's heritage, first as a boxing champion and later as the owner of a rec center guided by Tony Little Duke Evers, the child of Tony Duke Evers, who prepared both Apollo and the Statement of Faith in Doctrine. In 3, the storyline undergoes a transformation as Adonis, post-retirement, chooses to step once more into the ring to protect his title holder. This decision is prodded by the return of Damon. Jonathan Majors, a close buddy and transformed rival, brought a shadowy past back into Adonis' life. Music Damon Michael B. Jordan's change to the chief seat for Ideology 3 feels like a characteristic movement considering his lead roles in the initial two Doctrine films and the underlying Belief film. Jordan worked under the guidance of his long-lasting colleague, Ryan Coogler. Their organization started with the 2013 film Natural Product Cover Station and went on with the blockbuster hit Dark Jaguar in 2018. Coogler filled in as a maker on Ideology 3, and furthermore, the chief maker for Doctrine 2 had a pivotal impact in rousing Jordan to investigate coordinating in a meeting with Diversion. This evening, Jordan recognized that seeing Coogler's executive abilities on the arrangement of Organic Product Shroud Station, an urgent movie for the two of them, played a huge part in impacting his choice to take on the executive obligations in Belief 3. The guiding interest sparkled back to Natural Product Cover Station when I first sort of saw a person very close that seemed as though me coordinating and directing the set. He said, noticing that Coogler made himself accessible for 911 calls during the shooting of Ideology 3N. Spite of being occupied on his very own bunch with the creation of Dark Puma Wakanda. perpetuously in his first time at the helm, Michael B. Jordan exhibited sharp, tender, loving care, especially stressing the meaning of coordinating American communication through signing into the film. Jordan, in a meeting with IndieWire, portrayed the film as quadrilingual, highlighting its obligation to bona fide portrayal and inclusivity. We have English, we have Spanish, we have ASL, and afterward, we have the battling language we investigated in the last battle. He said, taking note of that it was critical to him that viewers see a world that embraces hard-to-hear characters. I was able to simply drop them in this world, perceive how the ASL family is living, and allow the crowd to go for a ride. Unquestionably, the observable decrease in Sylvester Stallone's presence with each progressive ideology portion is difficult to disregard. With the looming arrival of ideology, one can't resist the urge to notice the shortfall of Rough B. Boa's Adonis statement of faith's excursion towards boxing significance and the continuation of the doctrine heritage. The one who laid the groundwork for it all will not be essential for the cast in this most recent expansion of the rough, realistic universe. Stallone, who assumed a crucial role as Adonis' coach and motivation in the first film, steadily saw a decrease in screen time in the 2018 continuation. Anyway, Doctrine and the Three make it a stride further by totally barring Rough Balboa. The shortfall of this notable person feels fairly impossible to miss in a film set inside the Rough universe, starting interest in the fascinating story behind Stallone's choice not to repeat his job. The shortfall of Sylvester Stallone in the 10th portion of the establishment has been public information. However, the purposes for it are mind-boggling and covered in secret. Stallone, in an article for Men's Wellbeing, unveiled that he will not be associated with future Rough movies as long as Irwin Winkler, a previous companion and maker of the first film, stays associated with the ventures. Stallone, the old neighborhood legend with a Cinderella story from clothes to wealth, has been unequivocal in his position, attesting that you can't bury the hatchet with somebody who's been not really good or bad detestable, as I would see it anyway. The particular subtleties of the fracture between the two stay slippery. The beginning of the strife traces all the way back to 1976, when Stallone confronted monetary moves and offered the freedoms to Rough to Winkler for a sum that presently appears to be unimportant, contrasted with the huge income created by the 9 Rough movies in the cinema world. And through authorizing regardless of Rough remaining as the best game establishment in film history. Stallone doesn't share in the more extensive monetary accomplishments. Past his underlying installment for his jobs, having written the screenplay for Rough and basically birthing the rewarding establishment, Stallone feels that Winkler is receiving the benefits the whole way to the bank. In this case, apparently Stallone might have made an admirable statement similar to burying the hatchet. At some point, you realize you can't achieve harmony. I mean, we should be reasonable here. You can't achieve harmony when somebody has thus far delivered the narrative. Tricky on Netflix gives viewers a noteworthy investigation of Sylvester Stallone's exceptional dark horse excursion, catapulting him to become one of the best and most acclaimed stars of the 1980 size, while exhibiting the rousing parts of his ascent to notoriety. The narrative likewise digs into the individual expenses of Stallone's persistent desire, explicitly featuring the wounds he endured because of playing out his own trick work. What is better than to live under deception and have a little hint of something to look forward to? You might have been extraordinary. The narrative distinctively relates a frightening episode during the shooting of the 4th portion of the Rough establishment in 1985. Sylvester Stallone confronted an unsafe circumstance approaching demise in the wake of engrossing a strong punch from his co-star, Dolph Lundgren. In the extraordinary bout between Rough Balboa and Lundgren, character Ivan Drago Stallone thinks back in the narrative, expressing that Dolph Lundgren pummeled me, and uncovers that the effect brought about a 9-day hospitalization. The seriousness of the circumstances provoked a pressing exchange of Stallone from the film set in Vancouver, British Columbia, to a clinic in St. Nick, Monica, California. These subtleties were shared by Stallone in a 2006 meeting with Ain't It Cool Information, highlighting the gravity of the occurrence and its effect on his prosperity. Soon thereafter, my heart began to expand, which happens when the heart raises a ruckus around town, and afterward, my circulatory strain went up to 260, and they thought I would have been conversing with holy messengers. Stallone said in Guileful that he went on before I knew it. I'm in concentrated care where I'm encircled by nuns. I thought, okay, that is draperies in the Hollywood Journalist 35, the commemoration review in 2020. Stallone unveiled a grasping in the background second from the recording of the notable battle scene with Dolph Lundgren. In the fourth rough portion, as per the report, Stallone coordinated Lundgren to go amiss from the arranged movement for the huge battle day. Simply go out there and attempt to clock me. Stallone passed on to Lern, as recorded by the source, for the principal moment of the battle. It will be a chaotic situation in the narrative. Guileful as he considers his. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.